When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
I'm crying.
I made her start recording now while she's laughing.
I can't.
This is our little section about rambling we're gonna do.
My stomach hurts. Okay.
And so we just decided we were gonna ramble, and I immediately ramble off like a few things to talk about, and she was like, "Shit, I just got one."
Well, the thing is, I've taken a card out of your book to really try to write down things so that I remember more rambling things and not just like big topic ideas.
Yeah.
And but I'm not as good as you. Like, you can go off of like a word or two, and you're like, and you can remind yourself. I cannot. I look down at something I wrote, and I'm like, what? What? And so I did that exactly. I looked down at something I have written down in
your note
thing, and I'm like, who wrote this?
She has no memory of whatever it was she meant. What was it? Read what you...
I will, but I don't know if we should want to start with that.
Yeah, no, I want to hear what you don't remember writing.
Whenever I feel like I'm about to die, it's usually just gas. I'm not even joking. Like, there are moments like that kind of take my breath away, and I also I get heart palpitations sometimes, and like, if I get too excited, I really have to chill. I have to live a chill life because my body does too much all the time. And so there's times that I'm like, I feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't catch my breath, like everything, I feel a weight on my chest, like what is going on? And then usually after a moment, like I burp or or something.
And you're like, oh.
And I feel so much better. And I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the end. And then it's like,
I've gotten that way about random period pain, and because I'm in perimenopause, I don't know. I never know if I'm starting my period or if it's kidney infection or if I suddenly have bladder cancer.
What have the gods dealt me today?
I'm like, is this cancer? Why does this feel like this? Am I going to die soon?
Is this
what
death?
Is going on?
Is this what death feels like?
Is there a tumor?
Because I don't know. You know.
And then I start hearing, I'm like, oh, my period.
Okay.
Oh, I overreacted.
The joys of being a woman.
Yeah. So look at that rambling we just did.
I love it. Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, so my next one, I'm gonna just get to the superpower. Now I want to talk about the superpower, y'all. I have a superpower.
Oh, you do?
I really do.
Tell me more.
Okay, so work. Everybody at work has to wear steel-toed shoes because we're in construction, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to wear steel-toed shoes. And so a few months ago, I got a new pair of steel-toed shoes, and
you were new boot goofing.
I was new. They're not even boots. They look like Hey Dude.
That's even better.
I know. I was new Hey Dude booting.
Hey Dude scooting.
So they're steel toe, and they're just like black Hey Dude looking shoes, loafer shoes. And I don't know why, but they create a lot of static electricity. And I fucking shock myself 40 times a day when I'm at work. I shock myself almost every time I touch
So you haven't
something.
learned how to wield your own powers?
I'm working on it. I'm getting better. No, I am getting better.
Oh, okay.
And now I guess because it's cold, and apparently static is even worse when it's when you're like in heat, but it's cold outside apparently. So it's increased from what was like maybe 10 times a day to legit like 40, 50 times a day. I'm electrocuting myself, but I'm not just electrocuting myself.
It's everything and everyone around
right,
you.
because my desk is metal too, right? So sometimes I have customers that actually pay. They're not on an account or whatever, and I have to take a credit card.
And you've been shocking people.
Shock people all day. And I don't mean a little shock. It makes a popping noise.
I love that.
And occasionally you can see it.
This is crazy.
And these guys, most of my customers are construction Hispanic men.
Yeah.
And these men are hilarious because I'm like, and I know it's coming. I can feel it at this point. I know I'm going to shock you.
It's a little scary, okay?
I brace for it, too.
I'm a little jealous.
And I'm like, so I go to give it to him, and I know it's going to happen. And sometimes it's bigger than others, you know. and I'll give it to them, and they'll be like, "Oh!" And like I scare the shit out. And it's gotten so bad.
I love it when I shock people, or like when I shock things, or like things
It's
shock me.
almost every customer at this point.
I love it.
If I hand them a pen, if I hand them anything.
Oh my gosh.
Matt, the other day, someone brought us donuts. And so the other day, Matt's my coworker next to me. And I was like, hey, you want me to get you a donut? Like, I'll go to the break room and get us donuts. And so he was like, yeah. And I go get a donut and I wrap it in a napkin so I'm not touching his donut. I electrocuted him through a donut. I am electrifying.
There's no limits to your power.
I'm like, The Incredibles, the little electric guy,
Yeah.
that's me.
I love.
And I am shocking everything and everyone constantly. And like, you can hear it. And so like the other day, one of the warehouse guys was sitting next to me at an empty desk next to me. And he was working on like, cause we've been slower during the holidays, you know, we're not as busy. And so everybody's catching up on like watching their training videos and their like yearly videos they have to watch. And so these guys from the warehouse is sitting next to me doing these videos. And every time I would touch something on my desk, it'd be like, tick, tick, zap, zip, zap, pop, 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 pop. And so they're not even looking
Who
at
has
me.
bubble wrap? What's
They're
going
like,
on?
what the hell, Zeta? And I was like, I told y'all I have a superpower.
Y'all all are just gonna have to embrace it.
It's so out of control at this point. It's all day long. Every customer, it's so funny. And they are like, what? The guy today was like, I've never been shocked before. That is the first time that's ever happened to me.
I love that.
I go, well, if you come regularly, it's going to happen again. But now the regulars are used to it, and they'll be like, just put it on the counter. They don't want me to hand it to them.
Just set it down. Set it down right there.
I was like, I need a costume.
And then like put your hands back away.
I need a costume.
Yeah, you need a full. I mean, it's yeah.
And you know, the front can just be like a hey dude. That's it, just my shoe. Give me
I
the
really
front.
need a pair of those shoes. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, it's those right there. Look over there. It's those.
Oh yeah, I'm going to put those on the
And
list.
then my work just came out with this new thing where instead of buying our own shoes and they reimburse us, then now we just buy off this website and they pay for it on the spot. And you might want to flip them so it's a better picture, but
I go. I'm good. I got what I needed.
you got the idea. And so I had to order I got to order new shoes, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and order them, y'all. This is getting a little out of control. They're like, I mean, for real, you could start a fire.
Yeah, there's you have this much power, and it's only been this long. Who knows? You're gonna hone this skill.
Right.
You're gonna be setting a blaze. To this.
I mean, at this
I'm gonna burn
point-
this whole motherfucker down. I'm taking you all down with me.
It's like if we have another ice storm where we lose power, it's okay. I can start a fire with my fingers.
Oh my gosh, that's so.
So yeah, so I'm a, you know.
You're a superhero
Yeah,
now.
it's
Okay.
not-
Thank you for letting me know that. I'm not going to treat you any differently. I
Don't-
promise.
Yeah, don't tell people.
I won't treat you well. Well. Okay, nobody tell anybody that Zeta's a superhero now,
Yeah,
okay?
we don't want the
We
word
haven't
getting
come
out.
up with her name yet. No.
No,
Her
no.
uniform, her little.
Steel toe girl.
We're good. I love it.
Steel toe middle-aged woman. Abuela. Steel toe abuela. That's not even abuela, but we're gonna just. They don't know.
Okay, we're still in the early stages of this.
We're still working on the details. The other thing I thought was really funny that was a good idea is I saw a, like, you know, they do these really funny things for Mardi Gras. They do have all these parades and everything. And a lot of these parades will be like middle-aged people or older people that will take like a dance class with a group of people they know. I don't know why. Like they'll get together and plan their dance in the parade, and they'll all dress alike, and it'll be really funny costumes.
That's
so it'll be a
amazing.
bunch of like 60-year-old women or men, you know, or younger or whatever, and they're doing these funny dances in the parade together, and there'll be like 20 of them, right? And that gave me this great idea. Because you remember, I did the Mrs. Roper party that are now popular. I'm not trying to brag, but I really did do the first one I'd ever heard of. Am I wrong? I had never seen this happen before I did mine years ago. So I would like to do, we called it was Mrs. Roper outfits, but we called it Moo with mimosas, right? And so we went and had mimosas all in moo. I'm thinking we need to be in the next parade that we can get into in Waxahachie.
I see where this is going. Okay.
You're going to be there too, Kelly.
Oh my gosh.
And we're gonna
It's good.
dress in moo-moos and costumes, but it's moo based, okay?
Yeah,
We want to
yeah.
abuela. Oh, but no, that's cultural appropriation. But we're gonna, you see where
Cultures
I'm going.
are made to be shared.
That's
not
what I'm
appropriated.
saying. Appreciate it.
If you can do it, you can share
I
in
wanna
it. You can wear
appreciate
it.
'em.
You can. You're allowed to.
Okay. And so we're going to dress like this, like funny things, and then we'll support the podcast, and we will invite listeners to join us and friends to all dress up with us, and we will have we will march down the parade together.
It's gonna be me, you, and Sunday out there shaking our thing.
That's very possible. And I was thinking we could give out stickers, but now I'm thinking we could give out, cunny, funny cards, but that might offend people because it'd be a family thing.
Well.
We could pick the audience for the cunty but funnies to support the podcast. That was another idea I had.
I love that.
Yeah, listeners, tell me if that's something you'd be interested in. Would you actually do it with us? Like, we would need listeners to do it.
Yeah.
Because Rick's like, so like 2 people? Like what?
Yeah, that's what's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they'll be the best 2 ever.
So another thing I have to talk about is a thing that I talked about recently was my earliest memory. Like, what is your earliest memory that you can remember? And mine, I have the very first thing, which is the earliest memory I can think of. I do not know how old I was because it was like at the age of 3, I do believe, at 3. Because I remember, and I've gotten that down because I remember standing in a parking lot at a church here in Waxahachie. And I never remembered going to that church, but I knew that I stood in the parking lot of it. But apparently I did, but I was just so young. I don't remember that. So my mom was like, you were a baby, and then we stopped going there when you were around 3. So I was like, okay, so that's the earliest memory. I just got sat down, like out of my car seat.
Yeah, they took you
sat
out.
down. It was like a gravel road and I looked at the church, and then I turned and I looked, and there was a boy there. And I know now that boy was a boy that I went to church with. That was as a family friend of ours. His name's Matthew. And that was I think that's the first face that I remember that wasn't like my brother's or my mother's or my father, like one that I always saw.
Yeah.
That's the first one that I really remember looking at was his face. That was the memory. That's the earliest memory I have. And I have some more after that are that early, but a lot of stuff as just blocked out from there. I don't really remember most of my childhood and stuff like that. But that's my earliest memory that I remember. Can you pinpoint yours?
Do. Yep, I know when it was, and I was about 3 years old, and we lived in Austin, and it was my birthday. It was my 3rd birthday, I believe. And I know it wasn't my 4th because we lived on a commune then. So yeah, it was my 3rd birthday. And I got a table and chairs, like it's the 70s. And so it looked like a table and chairs you would have had in the 70s. Like the top was like the yellow flowers and orange, like Formica. It was really cute, and it was a really good gift for me. And I don't know if it was used or new or what, because we didn't get a lot of new stuff. And I didn't get toys back then. We were very, very poor. It was just my mom and my brother and I. And we lived by the School for the Blind, and right behind it, next to it. So we had a birthday party there at that house, and all my little hippie friend kids came over, and my brother and Otis, which is my brother's friend that passed away this summer, and some of the other boys decided to, and they were probably 5 at the time, jump on the couch, and then jump onto the table that I got, and then jump onto the ground. And
They were doing parkour.
Yes, off my
nice.
brand new little kid-sized table, and they broke it at the party. Like I never used it, and I was just devastated.
Oh my God.
And that is my first memory.
What a memory.
But I have a few memories from that house, and they're all really funny because one of my other memories from that house is my mom's parents and my mom's friends coming over, all the hippies and their kids, and everybody was just hanging out at mom's house. And I'm relatively sure it was like before she put us to bed, and she was like letting me tire myself out, and they were probably going to smoke out and drink and whatever because they were hippies. And I would make them watch me dance for a good 30 minutes.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Eye-Opening Moments podcasts are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
And my next act.
I thought I was going to be a professional dancer. I mean, you weren't allowed to do anything but watch me. If they started talking, I'd be like, what? No.
Start over now.
I'm doing a show here.
You don't talk during the show.
But now I know my mom would just let me wear myself out.
Yeah.
And I remember that from that house. And then I remember my mom almost adopted a girl that had a bad situation at home. She was a teenager at the time. And so she was always there. So I remember that there. And then I remember in that house, all our neighbors, and I'm like 2 to 3 years old. We'd play outside in the yard, just my brother and I. He's 4 or 5, whatever, Austin 70s. And our neighbors, we had a black lady that lived across the street, and she would bring out Kool-Aid in those little cups that you keep next to especially in the 80s and 90s, you'd see them in the 70s. Those little paper cups you kept next to your sink to have a little, like if you wanted a sip of water, like when you brush your teeth. She'd fill those with Kool-Aid. So it was just enough to like, one sip. It was almost like going to church and getting your little offering.
Yeah.
And she'd bring us a bunch of those. And then that's also where I slipped my wrist open by falling out of a truck.
Oh my goodness.
So I have a lot of memories for that little bitty stage. But the table is the first one.
No.
I have no doubt. I've thought about many times about the fact that that's my first memory. I was so upset.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up.
Damn it, Kelly. Damn it.
I'm sorry.
So during the great Ricky Martin, Rick and I had all this extra time together and visited. And one of the things that came up was us talking about complaint departments, because when I'm complaining to him about my day or whatever, he wants to fix it. And he does the same thing to Madison. He's a fixer. It's what he does. So it doesn't occur to him, I just want to bitch. Or I just want to, like, get this off my chest. So, like, Mary called me yesterday to get something off her chest. She knew there was nothing that either one of us could do about it or whatever. She just wanted to get off her chest. And I totally understood. I'm like, cool, okay, bye. And she's like, thanks for listening, bye, And so I do that to Rick, and he's, like, aggravated with me because, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And it's like nothing. No, I'm just bitching, dude.
Yeah. I need you to just listen.
I just want you to feel. I just want to get it off my chest. I don't need this fixed. I want to continue this pain. And he was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Why? What is wrong with you? Why are you trying to fix me?" He was like, "You're telling me you're broken." I'm like, "No, I'm just bitching."
Not broken, just bitching.
I'm just bitching. Fucking men. So Rick was laughing, and he was like, I'm the complaint department. I said, right, not the problem solver.
Yeah.
It's like I'm writing it down, and I'm just trying to throw it in a box.
Not talking
You're
to Bob the
box.
builder here, okay?
Yeah,
Golly.
I know. He's like, can we fix it? Yes, we can. I don't want it fixed.
No, calm down. Fix it, Felix.
I'm trying to learn how to be a wife-like person, and it's really the two of us together.
I was not cut from that cloth. I'm so sorry.
You
always have to have an out with me, a quick out.
Yeah.
No legalness involved.
Yeah. Nothing.
I'm not domesticated.
I know. All right, I have one more thing I want to talk about, but I figure I've been doing all the talking last minute.
Let me see what else I have still here. Oh, I have a little. So I literally have not opened this app up. Well, not the app. It's like a notes thing, and where I've been trying to remember to put down. Because I have a notes thing for you from your text. Because anything you text me, I put it in my notes app under text from Zeta.
Yeah.
So I started my own. That was my random thoughts.
Right.
But it doesn't. Okay. So I haven't looked into.
You have to write a paragraph
in a while. But I have what it says, spicy content creator. And the reason I wrote this down is because obviously, like, I have been asked by people and random people and people on social media, everybody, and I have a lot of inquiry of if I am a spicy content creator. And I laugh at it all the time. I understand. People tell me, I got the look that. I totally understand that. But no, I'm not. And so, but I was talking to my sister-in-law, Annie, when we went to our trip to Oklahoma, and it's when I just gotten my Polaroid camera, and I did a photo shoot because I do boudoir photos. That's one of my things I love to do. So I do have.
You can get paid for those.
I know, but this is a hobby. Everything I do is a hobby. Okay? I'm not looking to get paid anything by anybody. I don't need anybody's money. I have plenty of money. But I do it for fun.
Yeah.
And so I've had people inquire to me of like, oh, do I sell content? But I don't. But I told, I had talked to Annie. We had this whole conversation about, how, because she told me the same thing. You do wonderful pictures. Your Polaroid picture, especially now that I have a medium that I really like working with, which is the Polaroids, and I take the boudoir photos, and she's like, you could, sell them. And I was like, I know I could, and I'm not against it. I totally would. Like if there were interested parties and like people who want them for like, for the aesthetic of it and like the look.
No, they want to jack off.
Okay, I understand that, Zeta. But I see it from a different light. You know what I'm talking about? Like I am the content. The content doesn't see, I don't look at it that way. Yeah. But I wouldn't be against selling the pictures. Like I understand, like it is an art form. I see it as an art form, but I agree. I wouldn't be adverse to making money off of my art. I just never have. I've never sold any kind of art that I use. Yeah. I've never sold my poems, my songs. I've painted things. I've never sold any. I've given them away, but I never do anything for any kind of monetary value, really. Which I know I can, and I've been told I should. That's why I've been told to, market and do things on social media because I can do it well. Like I have a look. People will click on a button if my face is on the button. I get it. You can monetize that. And so I was talking this all through with Annie because it's something I've talked to my therapist about. Like it's something that's on the table to like, what do you want to do? And what are your limits? And what would what would your pricing be? And this and that, because it's a whole production. If I'm gonna do it, I'll do it right. But I'm just not gonna do it. I have fun on the internet. I'm just a tease. That's what I'm told. I get it. I totally am. My whole life is that. But I told Annie that if I did that, if I started selling pictures, then I'd be like a spicy content creator. And she's like, yeah. I was like, but like spice level, like mild Taco Bell hot sauce. Like, it's not.
Well, no, but they have some that are fully clothed. They don't even show any kind of real anything. They're just
I know,
sexy.
And really, I have photos.
Shit, you can just take pictures of your toes.
I know, there's a market for everything.
Yeah.
But like what I do, like usually it is like it's me in the picture, and it's lingerie. I have photos of me that are like partial nude and stuff like that, but it's like mood lighting. Like it's all a certain way, but those are just for me. Like
yeah, you don't share.
I share. I do. Like I've showed people, like interested people, like, and I have like people who have requested, I would like this picture. I'll barter. Like, okay, well, I've sold pictures before. I haven't sold any of the ones that are mine personally, because like I have my own price for them. Like I would rather keep it than give it to somebody else because I really like it. I like this picture. So it's something that's on the table, though. But that's one of the things that I've been,
once
doing.
again, Dante would be like, whatever.
Dante does not. Dante supports me 100% in everything that I do, and he knows that I have my own limits, and he trusts my limits. So he doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't worry about anything that I do because he knows that I'm always operating within my own parameters. Not even his. He doesn't give me parameters. Dante has never told me, okay, in this relationship, you're not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this, and you can't. Never. We never had a sit-down conversation about what the rules are. We understand that we are in an exclusive relationship with one another, and that means I'm his and he's mine, and I fully trust him 100%. Yeah. He doesn't have to prove anything to me. He doesn't have to run anything by me. He's nice and he tells me everything about him, except for whether or not he's
on those
serial killer.
Those spicy accounts. Like Instagram and stuff, when someone looks at your picture, you can see who looked at your picture. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you can't see who looked, but if it's the click one, not the
the story. The story tells you everybody who looks.
Yes. Okay.
But the post, you only know if they liked it.
Yeah. And if everybody looks, it's not really the same because sometimes you're just looking through every single one on your thing and you're not, But on those spicy ones, you also see who it is. And I always find it interesting because I've seen people that like talk about it on TikTok or whatever. And they're like, one of my best paying customers is my, freshman art teacher or
I don't want to know that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that would creep you out.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I started, a Patreon because I wanted to, first of all, learn about them. I know that it's a way that you can get paid for content that you create, and that there's no middleman, third party that's like making money off of you. You're making your own money on Patreon. Yeah. So that's what I was introduced to, was something that you can look into. You can see if you like this, and we'll see. And so I started one. I really didn't put a lot of content on there, but I put the content that I was comfortable with, because you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It can be, and you set the parameters. It doesn't have to be like full nude. It doesn't have to be pornography. It doesn't have to be. It can be whatever you want to sell to an audience.
Yeah.
And so I put some things up there. But that was one of the things also, because you do know who goes onto your account. You do know who is spending money on you. And that is another thing that, like, it's almost too much for my brain.
Yeah.
Because I don't like, I don't like that whole aspect of it. And also I just feel like it's too much. Like when I'm trying to do too many things, especially like social things, so like trying to do Instagram and trying to do Snapchat, those things are already taxing enough for me, and I don't even do anything. I hardly even post. You know, I'm not even good at it. Then trying to add something else, a new element onto it, is like, is it even worth it for me? Like because I want to be able to do it. I know that I would have interested parties, and I know that, but I could sell my own Polaroids just by selling them to people, like in the flesh, not even online, like taking away the online aspect of it, of just like being like
old school in it.
Yeah, you know, just going to different places. Like you could do that on like at vintage shops or different, like any kind of like people who would buy.
Right.
Because it's a novelty basically. If you're just selling the Polaroid and you're not selling like a digital print of it or an uploaded print, it's just, so it's a physical thing. So it is a novelty that you would go into a shop, like you would buy a magazine, or, you know what I mean? Like it'd have to be on like that level for me. I would have to sell them as novelty wise in the flesh, not online, not when somebody can like, oh, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. Like I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
Right
I can
now.
see that. Yeah.
That's the mental block for right now. So I still have a Patreon, and it's still something that I am like, it is a consideration and it is on the board, but as to how far I'm going to take that and what I'm actually going to do with it, that's to be determined. I have absolutely no idea.
No, yeah. And then how do you promote it? You don't promote it, do
Well,
you?
no, any other way that you would social media wise, like, so you could share it across your other platforms, like that, to your audiences that you already have. And then they can trickle over basically, just like anything else. Like I have my Snapchat that, you know, you have people on, but then some people who have Snapchat also have Instagram. So if you promote Instagram on Snapchat, they can go over, they can follow a link or anything like that. So once again, it's just getting people to click on buttons. Yeah. So here we go.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, next week she'll be like, I said that? That's weird. I don't even remember that.
No, that's not okay.
No. You're ridiculous. Okay, so my last thing was it's my birthday coming up here.
Dun, da, da, da.
In just a few days.
And not just any birthday.
It's not just any birthday. It is my second 25th.
Are you going to do it right this time?
Yes, because last time sucked ass. Last time I had
We're going to have a redo on the 25th.
I had a newborn and a 2.5, 3-year-old. And yeah, so it wasn't a lot of fun. And I was married to the biggest dud in the world. So yeah, we're going to do a little better.
Not stud.
Dud. And well, at least for me, I'm sure he's lovely for his current wife. And but so here's the thing, I'm getting a little aggravated because first Rick blew off 50th birthday being important, and then he did backtrack, and he was like, well, just another birthday. It's not just another birthday. It is a half a century, and chances are I'm not living to be 100, which means I'm like more than half done. I'm downhill.
You're being pulled out of the oven. You're being flipped over and put back in on broil.
I think I've already been there. That already happened at 40. I think that I'm getting close. No, and not close, but you know what I mean. And like we need to start planning for the sites. And so I'm like, okay, well, no, I want to do something for my birthday. Like this is, And I was like, but I don't know what. And I don't want to put a lot of energy into it. Like I don't want to have a party at my house. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do something crazy. I just want to do something.
Just want to celebrate.
Right. And so
you should be celebrated.
Well, and Erica's birthday is just like 3 weeks after mine. And, we've been friends for 45 years. So it seems fitting we would celebrate together. She's one of my closest friends. And so I was like, I had asked Erica. I didn't even ask Erica. I sent a group text to a group of y'all. We talked about this before. Where I was just like, basically, I'm planning, Erica and I are going to do a birthday party together. Erica, I hope you're okay with that. Yeah. And I'm thinking it's going to be on the 1st, and I'm going with 7 o'clock. Like, this is what we're doing. And I was like, I didn't say R. Mary, obviously one of my closest friends. I want her, obviously, at all my big moments. But they just opened a new bar, and she is bartending, and she is working Fridays and Saturdays nonstop, and she's making ridiculous good money. So I am not going to ask her to take off a Friday or Saturday night to go to dinner, because it would cost her. She might as well take a trip for how much she's going to lose, you know? And so I was like, we'll just do something separate with Mary and have a separate luncheon, because I do want to celebrate with her. But I want to do something like a dinner thing. Mm-hmm. And so Mary understands that. And so then Erica only reads like part of it. And she was like, oh yeah, luncheon's fine. And I was like, no, bitch, we're having a party.
No lunch. We are celebrating. We're going out.
No, I want to do something.
We are acting out.
Right. And so she was like, oh, okay. I was like, I deserve a party. She was like, okay. So I was like, we're doing a fucking party. She was like, okay. I'm serious. This is how that conversation went.
On board.
And so then we had this conversation like yesterday, day before yesterday, whatever it was. And so then I talking to Rick yesterday, because he's out of town. So I'm just like chatting on the phone with him. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. This is what we're going to do. And he was like, you know what that means? We're going to stay there. We're going to be stuck there. It's not going to just be dinner. We're going to be stuck because they're going to be there because of you. So we can't leave.
Duh, that's the point.
I was like, right.
Like a party? You mean like a party?
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, we're going to have to be there for a while, Zeta. I was like, yeah, because it's my birthday.
So make sure you put on your happy pants.
Yeah. And you could tell I was a little mad. I was like, you don't have to fucking go, dude. And then he's like, no, we're going to go, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to stay as long as you want to.
We're going to celebrate. And you know what else we're going to do? I'm going to bring Dante. So he has to meet him.
I know. And
he has to meet that motherfucker.
And I said, we're going to have, my friends are going to bring their significant others. And
you're going to be social. You're going to smile.
I said, we can invite your brothers too. You know, we can invite other people so you have people to talk to and stuff. I was like, but yeah, you're going. And he was like, all right. And I mean, what, like, you know, he just doesn't want to associate with people, basically. And so then I was like, all right. So then I was like, so I go and I make the little posting, and I'm like, who do I invite? Because I overthink it, and I'm like, no, they're not going to want to drive that far. They're not going to want to do that, you know, because I want to do it local, because I don't want to drive far.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I started going down my friends list on Facebook, because I posted it like through Facebook, and I was like, well, fuck, I feel like I should be inviting more of these people than I'm inviting. Why don't I just make it public? And that way people that want to go will go.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends.
That's a great idea.
And it's a 50th. I feel like if you're going to kill it for anyone's birthday, that might be the one.
Yeah.
And like,
that's the winner.
Right. And so immediately, like, someone that I haven't seen since I haven't seen her since maybe junior high. And she was like, bitch, I'm coming to buy you a drink. I'm coming to buy you a drink.
Oh my God.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'd love to see her.
I love that.
Yes. And then my friend Chris that passed away a few years ago, his mom, I've talked about them before. His mom keeps up with me. And his mom's like, I'm coming and buying you a drink.
I love that.
And so I'm excited about it.
Me too.
And so I finally made plans.
It's going to be so much
and
fun.
My sister has been harassing me about what are your plans for your birthday for months. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, you don't plan a wedding. You don't plan a party. Like, all these things come up and you're just like, meh, I don't care. I don't know. And then suddenly you're like, weekend with 4 girls. And you got that planned. You did that.
We know you can plan, Zeta.
Yeah.
Don't act like you can't.
I know. So I've been kind of burned out on it lately, but this is happening. So we're going to do like dinner, and then we're going to go over there and we're going to have a little good time. And, you know, so I am looking forward to that. And then I was like, I thought about, like, for this episode, should we talk about like 50 years of wisdom? But I don't know that I have a lot of wisdom.
She's like, I got nothing for you.
All I want to do is fuck people up at this point. I'm in perimenopause stage. So that's the problem with turning 50, is that when you turn 50, it really starts a little before that. The give a fuck is just gone.
Yeah.
I give no fuceveryone and
I've got nothing left to give.
No, I do nothing. Every once in a while, I think
it's really all y'all's fault.
I mean, it is. And every once in a while, I think that I give a fuck, and then I'm like, oh no, that was a false alert. I don't. And
false fuck alert.
It's false fuck alert. Yeah, it is. And then I'm like, and like for example, my friend recently was like, I've never removed anyone off my Facebook, but I've started removing people off my Facebook because I'm in my social media. She didn't say Facebook. She said social media. She was like, because, you know, just if they don't, I don't, you know, they'll make a little snide remark and it's obvious they don't really like me. And I was like, oh yeah, I handled that a completely different way. I do something. What do you do? I said, I make sure they have to look at me every fucking day.
Here's your picture for the day, bitch.
If I can tell someone doesn't like me that's on my social media, I want them to see me more. I want them to hate me more.
We're gonna flood their feed.
If I have that much control of your brain that you're looking at me through social media and thinking you don't like me, then I feel like I have another superpower.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna like get in your face and be like unlikable. I mean, I will be. You won't like me. But I mean, like,
I will be.
It won't be because of me. It'll be because you just don't like me, and it's just gonna annoy you. It's not like I'm doing something that's unlikable. It's just you don't like me. So me just being in your face is annoying, and I don't know why, but I find pleasure in that now.
It is. It's that.
Maybe it's the abuela stage.
You're coming into your.
I'm
own.
about to start throwing sandals. That's where I am.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good idea.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Now I get to throw sandals, and no one can say anything because I'm 50.
No, you can't.
No.
She's old and senile.
I know. I'm like, yeah, and I have no memory. So see how that goes. See.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to think, I don't know. I used to think when I'd see pictures of somebody like flipping people off, I'd be like, I'm just not a good look. Now I understand it. Now I'm like, fuck yeah, flip them off. and then I used
double flip off.
Yeah. And whenever I started putting like the invites on like who I was inviting, I didn't make it even through. I just like make this shit public. I can't go through all these people. So like some people got personal invites, some didn't because I overwhelmed myself.
Yeah.
But so as I'm going through the list, I'm like, I'm inviting people that are very different from each other. And it will be interesting to see some of these people in one room.
Yeah.
And I will be, it's going to be interesting. If they come, they may be like, we all hate you. Right. I don't know. We'll see who shows up.
Stage a walkout.
The last few get-togethers that we've tried to throw, not we, but like a friend of mine and I'm not going to name names, not you, have kind of put together.
Not me.
It really wasn't you. Try to put a little last-minute thing together. It's really just us there and like 2 or 3 people. But we also suck at promoting it, encourage. It's always so fly, but we're so, and both of us every time get there and go, don't you wish you could have canceled? Because I wanted to cancel. And then I realized if I canceled that it'd leave you alone probably. And then she was like, I thought the same thing about you. And I was mad at myself for organizing this. So I'm hoping I don't feel that way on my birthday.
I don't think that you will.
I know I'm going to need a nap ahead of time. That's what Rick said.
Yeah.
He said, you can't stay up that
late. You
late.
need a nap. I'll come over and
That's
help you
what he
get
said.
ready.
He was like, are you crazy? You can't even stay up that late. I said, I can for my birthday.
Yeah,
and he
you
goes,
can.
so you're going to take a nap? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
That's
take
smart.
a nap.
Yeah.
Everybody else, anyone coming, take a nap beforehand. Yeah, because
Naps
we're
are great.
old, and that's what we have to do at this point. Because, I'm over the hill now.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks for being happy I made it. Because it was iffy. My 30s were wild.
It was touch and go there for a while.
30s. Ooh, man, I had a good time.
I know. I'm making my way through it right now.
Lord, it was a good time.
We're halfway through, and I'm like, good Lord, do I have it in me to make it the rest of the way?
Do you see why I got tired and stopped? I had to retire. I had to retire from that lifestyle because I can't hang. I just want to crawl in my bed. There's nothing more exciting for me than to know that in a little bit I will be in that bed with my electric blanket. Because I'm gonna.
Those are like dirty thoughts to you.
What
now.
I need next is a big blanket with a tiger on it. A fuzzy blanket with a tiger on it.
Now we're talking.
Okay, we're going to Abuela. Maybe Rick and I, when we buy our house, we need a Spanish-style house. He doesn't like that style. I do, but he doesn't. He's identifying as white. Anyways, that's it. That's what I got going on now.
We made it to the other side.
Yeah, we survived.
All right, so as part of our catching up, I do have a little bit of an update on last week's topic that we had. And so last week our topic was about women versus women. So, hate or any kind of negativity coming from women towards other women.
Yes.
Specifically to do with their bodies and the space that they take up and all that.
Right.
So I had my example story was of a situation that I had with a social acquaintance / someone who I was becoming friends with. And the way that they treated me in an instant based on, in my opinion, the way that I looked and how it made her feel and the reaction, the very just like natural reaction.
She has some power that the way she looks makes people feel a certain some way that they can't control their physical body.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes.
Look at you and your power.
And so when the situation happened, of course, I didn't do anything. I just let it, happen to play out. And I had talked to my therapist about it. And my therapist was like, how are you going to react to this? And she knew. She was like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to be nice because that's what you do. And I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. I always try to find a way to, even if they don't deserve or merit that kind of response. That's just, I try to do that. Anyways, so, and the only other thing I wanted to talk to were the people who were there. And I didn't get a chance to talk to my two friends who I was sitting between because I hadn't seen them since this encounter. And I wasn't able to have the conversation since I've talked with my therapist. And I've decided I need to talk to them. I want to get their firsthand opinion and, their POV from that situation. And so I saw them. I finally I went and was able to see them, and I had the conversation with them, and I was doing, music bingo, having a good night, and they brought her and her husband up in conversation. So I segued into, I would really like to have just a private conversation between y'all about something that is important to me. And of course they're like, yeah, because they're my friends. And so I explained, they knew what I was talking about as soon as I brought up this is what we're talking about, because they were there and they witnessed it firsthand. And they're like, yeah, okay. I was like, I don't want to cause any problems because I want the friend group to keep going. I can take hits and punches and I can just absorb them and keep things kosher. I can do that because I don't like to fight with people, and I'm not going to try and gain any kind of dominance over anybody. Like I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to fight with anybody. I was like, so if she has a problem that, I can stay away from her. I can stay away from them. I can do whatever needs to be done to create a safe space. And they're like, of course, they're like, no, obviously, it's not. I wasn't in the wrong in the situation, And so, in my opinion, and they asked me what I was going to do about it. And I was like, well, I'm probably going to be nice. Like as long as she's nice, I'm going to be nice. But what she needs to understand, and what I hope as my friends, because y'all are my friends, I know that you want what's best for me in a situation, and you saw it firsthand, so you can kind of pass a little bit of judgment because it wasn't all in my head. I didn't read the situation wrong. I have backing now of, oh yes, the XYZ happened and you are merited in the fact that you got your feelings hurt. And that's what I told her. I was like, I got my feelings hurt. And so I can understand how some people wouldn't care that I got my feelings, because some people don't care if I get or if they hurt my feelings. I was like, but as friends and as even acquaintances, like I just treat people better than that. I'm not going to act like somebody doesn't exist unless they have told me, I want you to act like I don't exist. Like, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at my husband. Don't talk to my husband. You don't exist. I've been told that before. So I can live in that realm. Okay, I don't exist. I will stay over here. Yeah. But it's rude to say that to somebody, especially somebody that
especially when it's always because of their insecurity.
Yeah, and you don't have any reason not to trust me. And so that's why I told them. I was like, I want her to know. I don't even have to address the situation. And that's another thing that my therapist told me. She's like, you don't even have to address the situation. Talk to your friends about it like you want to, and maybe your friends will handle the situation because that's what friends do. Yeah. And I'm like, that's right. I don't like to have to put that on anybody, but that is what friends do. Like, I don't even have to tell her, hey, you need to treat me better. They're going to make sure that it happens. Yeah. Because they were as shocked as I was, because they were both like, did that literally just happen? Like, yeah, it did, and it needs to be addressed. I would just let that go with the person that I am, me. But 2025, new era, if you're going to be in my friend and in my friend group, I'm going to make sure that everybody is respected, me included. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not just going to bend over. You don't need to be a doormat. Not going to bend over and take it, okay? Yeah. You're not my boyfriend. So, anyway, so that happened. So I talked to them, and fate would have it. Who shows up?
Our new little bestie.
My friend. And so I play the role, which in my head, of how I've already talked about it. I've talked to my therapist about it. I've talked to my friends about it. I have a game plan of how I'm handling this situation. And my first thing that I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to act like I don't exist, because that's how she made me, that's what she requested of me. That's how she treated me. So I'm going to take that to heart. I don't exist. So she said hi to I was sitting at a different table. She says hi to everybody else. And then after a moment, she looks over and she does say hi to me and the people at my table. And so I was surprised, but I did say hi. I said hi because she allowed me to exist. So I was like, okay, hi. Didn't say anything else other than that, but that was it. You get a hi. And so then I'm leaving. I'm telling my friends bye. She's sitting at the table with my other friends, and I say bye to them. And I had these little cards, and they're just little inspirational cards. And so it says you're wonderful on the front. You pop it open. It has an inspirational quote on the inside. And on the back, you can write, sentiments or whatever. And I've just signed a few. And I've been giving them to my friends and, people, and almost using them as like business cards too, just to people. And I've had really good responses to them. People have really liked them. They're a fun little experience to open it up and read the inspiration.
Something nice.
And then to remember me and like have my contact information and stuff. And I had to set aside that night, the night that I was going to talk to them, that they weren't there. So I still had cards. And so I wanted to give them their cards. So I hugged them by and I gave them their business cards. And they thanked me for them. And I turned, because she was at the table, and I said goodbye to her, and I gave her an inspirational card as well. And that was my final say of like how I'm going to handle this situation. Yes. And I didn't even know I was going to do that until I did it.
I might add, y'all listeners, I was with Kelly and driving her home, so I'm waiting around the corner, so I don't see any of the goodbyes. I'm just waiting for her. Yeah. And she comes around to tell me that she gave her an inspirational card. It's like, what the fuck?
Of course you did, Kelly.
What the fuck? I mean...
But I didn't even know I was going to give her one until I did. I knew I was giving Tess and Shelley theirs.
Yeah.
Because they were already earmarked for them.
Yeah.
But as I turned, I already knew that I was going to turn and say goodbye to her, because that's how you treat people.
Not me.
I love to live. I like to try and live by example. This is how we are respectful. Let me show you how to be respectful.
You're such a better person.
And so I said goodbye. And in that moment that I submitted once again to her and said goodbye to her, I gave her a card without even, I was like,
no, you meant it from your heart too.
Yeah.
I know you were being nice.
And
You weren't being catty or anything. You were legit. Like, put giving an olive branch back since she was nice to you.
Yes.
Whereas my thought is not that.
No, I know.
I'm thinking
So,
opposite.
we walk
which
out.
is part of the reason I was around the corner.
We walk out. Yeah, she wasn't allowed.
Because I was like, I just feel like I don't need to interact
Zeta
with
knew the safe word, and that was it. She was like, I'll be right here.
Yeah.
So we're walking out, and she's like, I'm telling her what I did. I'm telling her I said goodbye, and I gave Tess and Shelley their cards, and I gave her a card too. And Zeta laughed at me. She's like, oh my gosh. And then we're walking across the street, and as I'm explaining her what I did, and there was a car coming down, I was like, oh, please don't run me over. And Zeta's like, yeah, because she'll give you an inspirational card.
And a hug. And she doesn't like to hug. But if you fuck her over, she will hug you.
If you run her over with a car, she'll hug you and give you an inspirational card.
Yes. But then you have to deal with me.
And those are the two sides. And
this
is the truth.
I was like, oh my God, we're so opposite.
That's so true.
So then we're driving home, and I'm like, that's not at all what I was thinking when you, because she's like describing the inspirational cards to me.
I saw a lot of different ways this could have gone, and that was not one of them.
That's not something I would have put on the table. So then I was like, I want cards like that too, but I want mine to be cunty but funny.
Cunty but funny.
So like she could give you the card that's like, I hope you have a wonderful day. And my card is going to say, you're being a cunt. Or I saw you be a cunt like that.
I saw what you did.
Or, yeah, you are just, you're a fucking bitch.
Keep one eye open.
Yes, yeah. You park like shit,
Sleep
you
with
stupid hoe. And then that way, if you run into someone that parks like shit that's a stupid
Number
hoe.
one person of the hoe club.
Yes, so I don't want to slut shame them, so I got to come up with something better.
Okay.
But because more like it can't be any kind of negative about them.
It's just like they open it up and it just says number one cunt.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And then
I know some people absolutely despise that word, and I apologize to be dropping that, but
I could be saying moist.
sometimes
Take your pick.
You just gotta hit the nail on the head.
I mean, I'm direct. And then I was like, okay, and like there's two ways that these cards could be used, because like if you're being funny and cunty, like just it's funny, it's not really cunty.
Yeah,
but like
it's just
me,
funny.
when I'm talking shit and I'm kind of being cunty, but I'm just talking shit, you know, you would think that's funny. So
Yeah.
you'd give me a card and you'd be like, you're being a cunt. And I'll be like, oh my God, I am. And so then it's
LOL.
so then it's a funny one. But then let's say you're at the grocery store and remember the story about the old lady that was mean to the cashier I told the story about?
Yeah.
I could have
She-
pulled
she
out
gets one.
a cunny but funny
She
card,
gets one.
and it would have been
Real.
Yeah. So it goes both ways.
You get the crown.
And so then I'm like, wait a minute, but we need one for men too,
Yeah.
So we're gonna need one for men, and those are gonna be mansplaining memos.
Yeah, thank you so much for breaking that down to where I could digest it in tiny little morsels.
Thank you for telling me how childbirth feels.
I had no idea what it was to get
A period.
have your womanhood taken away from you. Like tell me more about the hidden world.
Of my vagina.
Yeah, show me the way around the clitoris.
Yes, because you
And
can't hit it.
I do mean
Around.
I did not misspoke. I was not misspoken. The
Yes.
only way you know is around it.
Thanks for teaching me that 4 inches, you whenever you mean 4 inches, you say 6.
Yes.
I mean,
Tell me that size matters, and then also how to
and then try to pass off 4 for 6.
measure twice and cut once.
Yes. What the fuck?
I'm just trying to think of all of the lessons that men have taught me in my life.
Let me tell you
that
about.
I can talk about.
I needed these cards yesterday because I was at work yesterday, and I work with men and I work in construction, and I was getting mansplained like fucking insane yesterday, and just over and over again. But typically I'm alone with these customers. There might be someone walk by or something, but it's usually just one-on-one with me and these customers.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm helping a customer. And but yesterday I had my guys from the back, like the warehouse guys were up there. And so they witnessed it. And then we have a lady that works in the back, and she had to come out and help him as well. And so first he did it to me in front of the guys. And he kept trying to get them to answer questions about things, and they don't know shit. Like they don't know anything that I know. And I
They're
know,
just like twiddling their thumbs, like.
and I have been there longest. I've been at my work for over 10 years. They've been there like 6 months, and they're very young guys. And I am an older woman that's been there 10 years, so I know a lot. Yes, it's weird coming in construction that this 50-year-old white woman knows what I do.
She knows what's up.
And so he kept trying to get them, and anything I would say he would discount, and then he would ask them, and they would be like, ask her.
I don't know.
They were like, why are you ask her, not us. We don't know. Ask her. And it kept going on. And so then my coworker guy, so I guess it's the day before yesterday. So then my coworker guy that does what I do comes out, and he speaks Spanish. So the guy jumps on him and starts talking to him. Well, he got the vibe before he started talking to him. He got the vibe that he was being kind of rude to me or something. Mm-hmm. Well, now at this point, so he's like trying to figure out what's up. And no one's ever rude to me at my job. Like my customers are awesome. So it's weird. It's a one-off when I get someone that's not real nice. And then, so she comes up and he starts, and it's her job. And anytime that he would ask a question, he would ask my coworker male, and then she would answer because it's her job.
Yeah.
And then instead of answering her back, he would direct it again at the guy, and then she would answer. And I might add, she's only like 5'2". She's tiny little lady, short. And she was like, listen here, okay? In Spanish, she says this. Listen here, all right? This is my job. I'm the one you ask. and I give the answers. Okay.
How about you?
He
look
has
at
a
me?
different job.
Look over here, buddy.
Yeah. And I saw him kind of like correct himself.
His like eyeballs were fighting him. It was like, oh my god.
Yes, and so then he leaves, whatever. And so that was 2 days ago. Well, then yesterday, my coworker that's a male wasn't there. He was out sick. So he comes back in and he asked to speak to him. I said, oh, he's out sick. Looks like you're stuck with us girls. And so he was like, oh. So then he kept asking me questions, but like he wouldn't give me a chance to do something before he asked me another question. And I was like, I am so sorry. I'm just a girl. It's going to take a minute. And so I just played fucking
You know our
stupid.
brains are like smaller than y'all's, right?
Yeah.
Like we're processing.
And so then, and he didn't even get it. Like he did not, he's like, yeah, you are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he didn't say it, but
Oh
like,
my
you know.
gosh.
And then she comes out and she's, you know, she was like, oh, looks like, she has no idea what I've just said. Looks like you're stuck with us girls. We were laughing so hard. And then he came back again today. And I
girl
said-
power, man.
And
Girl
I was
power.
like, he's still not here. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Stuck with us again. I hate being mansplained too. I do not like it. I do not. And the guys find it funny because they know I know so much. So they're just like, it's so funny when they do it to you because it's just like shooting themselves in the foot. Like, you know. But other customers, when they see a guy do it to me, those customers will be like, you're talking to the wrong person. You need to be talking to her. She runs this show.
They know what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, new business cards coming soon, guys.
Yeah, we got some new merch ideas. Yeah. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, I'm coming home.